experts, making sure you win in every market. Your financial partners, Don and Gino.
Don and Gino Real Estate Finance Show, guiding you to personal and financial wellness with incredible experts. I mean, 3 years now, we know who to go to. And we have one of our go-to guys here today. We really appreciate him taking time in his very busy schedule to join us and add fun, humor, humility, and information. And Elgin, you are that guy.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Elgin Walker with the Elgin and Pilar Walker team at Keller Williams VIP Properties, and just an all-around good guy.
I think that was really good that you used the word humility. It's not a word we can use in the real estate industry too often. So it's true.
But it's true, isn't it? Don't you think it's a great word? Because we've been in the you don't use humility unless you've been in the industry as long as we have. I'm sorry, that's you learned.
Don calls it, we've been beat by the humble stick many a time.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I mean, 26, 27 years. We both started at the same time in '87.
Mm-hmm.
I've been beat up by that stick, that humility stick, I don't know how many times, and it's humbled me to where when I know you're the same way, when you speak to your clients, it's from a different viewpoint. It's just tell me what's important to you.
No, absolutely. What's important to the client is what counts. It doesn't count what I think, because I'm not going to be the one making your mortgage payment on the first of every month.
Good point.
So you need to be comfortable with those decisions. I'm only here to guide, to inform, and hopefully help you determine what's best for you and your family.
And it's best to go to a professional who has the experience, has the knowledge, and is willing to share it. I like that you're willing to share it. Some just tell clients what they want to hear. I mean,
right.
It could be, I want to sell my home for this amount, and a good professional go, you know what? Based on what I'm seeing, you're not going to be able to sell your home for that, where another agent who's not as experienced will tell you, sure, I want your listing. I want the check. So I'm going to list it for whatever you want. That's not good advice.
No, it's not. And generally, you're going to find one or two agents that do that. Obviously, you're going to find the one that may be a tad bit more inexperienced and just really wants a listing regardless. You'll also, unfortunately, find some of the people in my profession that use that as a strategy. I'll take the listing, and then I'm just going to beat you up for a price reduction for X amount of time. And I'm not going to say there's anything necessarily wrong with that.
There's
it's just not the philosophy.
To that, though.
Well, yes. I mean, it's not the philosophy that I subscribe to.
No, I know. That's why I'm saying that a professional like you just doesn't go down that path.
Right, absolutely.
Because there's pitfalls that the seller's unaware of by going that strategy.
Well, absolutely. Well, number one, you're always chasing the market down if the market happens to be going down. That's number one. Number two is people forget that for every month that they don't sell their home, and selling their home is the goal, they're also making an additional mortgage payment each and every month, which is also taken away from whatever their possible profit is going to be as well. Not to mention people running in and out of your house, et cetera, and all the things that go along with having to get your house sold. And if you happen to have a family, having your family in limbo for that period of time. So to me, it makes more sense to get it right the first time and hopefully get people in and out and go from there. Now, I'm not telling people to price their home as a fire sale necessarily. I'm just telling them to price it at market value, because if you price your home correctly right now at market value, it will sell.
So let's go ahead and jump in on that right now, Elgin, because one of the things that we're seeing, and if you're looking on one of those fantasy sites, we'll call them, like Zillow or Redfin or one of those, you may be seeing a lot of red arrows right now showing that there's a lot of price reductions happening. And I wanted to clarify that not all these price reductions right now are from inexperienced agents or from agents utilizing that for a strategy. A lot of times the sellers of homes have pushed their agents into a higher bracket because they've heard that there's 20% appreciation, 11% appreciation. Hey, the last one sold for $300, mine should sell for $320. Let's be a little more realistic in this market maybe and not have that kind of appreciation built into our initial market price. Do you think that's accurate?
I think that's very accurate. As a matter of fact, the last time when I was honored to be on your show a couple of months or so ago, actually brought that up as a point. It's just amazing to me that in the last 18 months or so, our value out here has gone up 20, 25% or so. Mm-hmm. It's amazing that I'll see someone that say their neighbor just sold it, say $500,000 on Monday, okay, and then they'll call me, 2 Mondays later, and they're explaining to me why theirs is now worth $550. So I'm thinking, so you got $50,000 of appreciation in like 2 or 3 weeks.
Well, wait a second. We just painted the house.
I know.
That's $50,000, right?
And you got the gold light bulb fixtures, and you change the bathroom knobs. I get it, but realistically, right now, that's not happening. In addition to that, people have to remember that as the prices have gone up, and for a minute the rates went up for a second or two, and I don't really call them up because they were like 12% when I bought my house, but I regress.
I love when people complain about 4.75.
Exactly. But it does affect the affordability factor. So when the property value was down 20% from where it is now last year, of course you had more people in position to purchase. So of course there were people in more bidding war situations, and yes, some people were willing to maybe pay above the appraised value.
Yeah, and you just mentioned interest rates. At that time, they were in the mid-3s.
Exactly.
So not that we had a tremendous rise from the mid-3s to the mid-4s, but it did affect affordability.
Oh, absolutely. And you throw that on a 20-25% gain in value.
Yeah.
From rock bottom, though. Remember,
absolutely.
Forgets, that was rock bottom.
Absolutely.
That's the only reason we had such huge appreciation is we were at the very lowest we'll probably, hopefully, ever see.
Mm-hmm.
We've been through this before in the 90s.
Absolutely.
We watched it. I remember when the homes were in Valencia, a very expensive home was $400,000.
Mm-hmm.
And it went down to $200,000, and people said, I can't believe it went in half, and it'll never get up to $400,000.
Right.
What are those homes now? $750,000, $800,000?
At least. Yeah, really. No, really, and I'm a firm believer that will happen again.
I agree.
But it doesn't happen between Monday and Friday.
Right.
So
good point.
So I'm just saying that from the seller standpoint right now, that it comes to a point to where you have to make a decision upon what you're really looking to do. And if selling your home right now is the goal for you and your family for whatever reason you want or need to sell it, you just need to price it correctly, and then just not, I'll throw a sign in the yard and I'm going to get whatever I'm going to get because there aren't any listings available. Well, there just comes a point to where, the buyers either can't or won't.
Right.
Yeah, well, I think you hit the nail on the head with affordability right there. One of the things that we compare a lot is people that are renting, that are still looking to get out of renting and looking to buy. And in some areas, appreciation's been so great that actually, miraculously, for the short term, for someone who's only going to be in a house for a year or two, then it might still be okay to rent. Whoever's going to be in the house for a long term should still always be looking to purchase for tax benefit, forced savings account, which I call equity. Right, because ultimately part of your payment's going towards equity unless you have an interest-only loan, which we're not doing too many of today.
Right.
So the reality is that, there's a lot of opportunity, but like you said, last year it was like if you weren't buying a house, you were crazy.
Right.
Now it depends on your timeline and your goals and what you're looking to do to see if it makes sense.
Right. I don't disagree with that at all. And it's just the market is what the market is. Just as a buyer and seller, you just need to be realistic about what it is you're doing, and also have some sort of a plan, what your actual goals are, and why you're buying or why you're selling. But I can tell you that in most cases, if you have the ability to buy, you should buy.
You can, I've been doing this for a long time as you have. How many times in your career have you handed the keys to somebody on a new home and they went, "Oh, I wish I didn't do this"? They're ecstatic.
Yeah, I think like
I've never seen anybody happier. You should see them when they come in here. Now they come and they ring their own funding bell now at Cherry Creek Mortgage.
Oh, that's cool.
They come in the ring, and we even let them push the funding button on the computer.
Wow,
yeah, that was wild. I mean, this is a whole new thing that's happening here in the office. They get to ring their own bell. So if you'd like to be present on the day of your funding, you can ring your own funding bell and let everybody know.
And you get to be on our new Wall of Fame. And
That's cool.
Our clients are going on the Wall of Fame and everything, and it's really exciting because we get to share that moment with them of them obtaining their home of their dreams. And there's nothing like home ownership. I'm sorry, there just isn't.
No, absolutely. I 100% agree with you. 100% agree.
All right. Okay. So we're going to head into break here in a little bit, Elgin, and I'd love for us to talk about, okay, a lot of you got frustrated. A lot of you are trying to, be smarter than the average bear, and you might be cutting off the hand that feeds you, meaning A lot of people right now are deciding, a lot of you are deciding, I'm just going to go straight to the listing agent. I'm going to go to whoever's selling the home and see if I can cut a deal with them. And let's go in depth on the pros and cons of that. And mostly I know there's a lot of cons because a lot of people are confused of the advantages of having an agent represent them. Let's touch on that when we come back, all right, Elgin?
Absolutely.
All right, stay tuned because this is good stuff you're going to want to know. Don't